I want to welcome everyone for being here this morning. Thanks to our student greeters, our class officers at the various levels. They're going to be passing something out here in just a moment. I would like to call at this time up to the podium our third graders who are going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. We have Colton Pinkerton, Nick Rothy, Will Bullock, Oscar Neese, and Abby Dingley. Please come up. Again, welcome to our educational forum. This is the first one of this year. I believe this is the third year we've had it in September. What we like to do with our educational forum, we like to share out the great things that are happening within the Circleville City Schools, and in particular the indicators and our report card and our construction project. The OIP goals that are on the inside front cover of your program, those are our district goals. Those are our district goals, and they're also the goals that guide our mission every day in all of our schools. We set these goals back in 2008, and I want to recognize a couple of people who are here, a couple of retired people who woke up early on Friday morning to come share this moment with us. They're sitting over at this table. Sherry Neese, the Sam Lucas. Sherry's our retired curriculum coordinator. Sam's our retired superintendent. It was under their direction back in late 07, early 08 that we examined all the data and developed these three goals. If you were to pull out last year's OIP goals, you would see the update on how well we've progressed with those. But our goal number one is to increase our math scores and to achieve all the indicators by this June. This is our last year on these OIP goals. The second goal is our reading goal. That's to achieve all the indicators in reading by June of 2012. And our third goal is our graduation rate. We want to earn the state indicator of 90% graduation rate. Depending on which formula you would like to use, we're either 85.4% with the old formula, but the new formula that was just released in August, we're at 89% for the class of 2010. 2011 graduation rate will be released sometime in March of 2012 because they wait to see about the summer graduates. These OIP goals will be revisited again next June, and we'll examine our data from the previous 3 years and determine what our goals will be at that time. Some of you in here will be invited to that meeting. We'll have community members, we'll have parents, we'll have teachers, we'll have a few students, we'll have the administrative team, and we'll decide at that point what our three big rocks are and what will drive our district for the next 3 years. We're very proud to announce, and I'm sure that you've seen it in the dispatch and the Herald, that we achieved 17 out of 26 indicators. That is an improvement from last year. We had 14 last year, now we're at 17. And if you break the numbers down even further, we're about 15 students away from earning 22 out of 26 indicators. Our fifth grade scores in math and reading, and our seventh grade scores in math and reading are within 2 students of achieving that 75% goal. So we are making great strides. Our teachers and our administrators and our students are making great strides on this. We are an effective district. We now have no buildings in continuous improvement. Formerly, we had Court Street Intermediate and Everett's Middle School. in continuous improvement and had plans following for those staff, but now we are completely out of continuous improvement. We are in effective status for the district, one step away from the excellent status that we strive to meet. Our effective buildings, we have 3 effective buildings. They are Court Street, Everett's, and here at the high school. And we have 3 excellent buildings, and the excellent buildings are Mound Street, Atwater, and Nicholas. I believe Nicholas has been an excellent building ever since they started giving these types of designations. As I mentioned before, on the graduation rate, the new formula, although the formulas are tough to figure out, there is a 4-year formula now. So the expectation from the state will be for students that enter as a freshman cohort to graduate within 4 years. We're still trying to figure out and get a determination from the state if the summer graduates count. Because what we do now, we have the traditional graduation ceremony sometime around Memorial Day, and then we have a summer OGT for those few students who may not have passed a high graduation test. They take it in June, and we still count them as a graduate. The new formula, we're not sure if we're still going to be able to count the summer graduates, so we may have to work around that issue. Construction update. I'd like to move on to the construction update part. That's what the class officers passed around. I would like to put a disclaimer on here that as of right now, this is what the new campus will look like. We are currently in our, we're going to approve our 2nd phase of design at next Wednesday's special Board of Education meeting. We're in design development phase right now. The design development phase is the 2nd of 3 design phases. We've already moved through schematic design, and now we're finishing up design development. When the board approves the design development plans next Wednesday, we'll move on to construction documents. And if any of you have ever gone through a construction plan, you know at that point we're about 97% complete with the building plans. Once the construction documents are completed and approved by all the partners, the OSFC, Lend-Lease, the construction managers, and our Board of Education, then we'll be able to go out to bid. The design developments, as you see on your page, in the upper left-hand corner, the picture, that is the entrance to the new high school building. And for orientation purposes, the new high school building will sit just to the east of us, pretty much on where the baseball and softball fields are right now. The baseball and softball fields will be the westernmost edge of the new high school, and the Walters Lane and gravel lane near that will be where the eastern edge of the high school will be, along with the parking lots that are associated with those. Pretty much right here where we're sitting and to the west toward the tennis courts will be the new middle school. And if you orient yourself to the football field, there's a cell tower just to the north of the football field. If you would drop that cell tower to the north, that's where the location for the new elementary school would be. So that kind of gives you an orientation of where we are on this plan. The picture to the right at the top, that is the new elementary library. The elementary school will house over 1,100 students, so we have a 2-story library. The thought behind that, working with our district librarian, our design consultants, the bottom floor would possibly be for the K2, and the upper floor would possibly be for the 3, 4, 5. So we haven't made that determination yet, but it is kind of a unique design with some circular flow patterns in that library. To the upper northwest part of, or northeast part of the property, you'll see baseball fields, softball fields, soccer practice fields. That is the proposed athletic complex. I know there's a lot of questions about what's going to be supplied for the athletics. The OSFC does not provide very much on the athletic end. They provide educational facilities. So yes, there will be gymnasiums in all 3 buildings. And it may not seem to make sense, but the elementary